And now then, a community group has handed a 650-strong petition to the Thirsk and Malton MP Kevin Hollingreight today, calling for an end to the presence of anti-fracking protest camps in the area. The petition, organised by Rydale Against Antisocial Protesters, calls on the relevant authorities to evict the protest camps outside the Third Energy well site near the village of Kirby Misperton and, crucially, to ensure that no new camps are established in the area in future. Why? Because they claim that protesters have been abusive and obstructive. Bob Batty is from the group.
It's not so much the protest that the group's got an issue with, it's the things that perhaps the wider public don't see. Perhaps the public aren't aware of the intimidation of businesses that are going about their lawful activities, aggressive online campaigns with lorry surfacing, etc. We've got all the normal associated disruption around road closures for people getting to work, kids getting to school, medical appointments, etc. And I guess one of the other things that the general public don't see is that some of the organised social media activity of the protesters absolutely hurling abuse right in the face of the police officers that are working, albeit security staff, albeit anybody involved with delivering goods or services to Third Energy. That's not actually seen by the wider public. We've had local council meetings invaded and disrupted. We've had Barclays Bank in Pickering vandalised, and that bank is going to be the last bank in Pickering when NatWest closes. So clearly the locals would not like to see Barclays closed down.
I suppose the security staff would be seen as legitimate targets, not for abuse and not for any aggressive abuse, but for, I suppose, protest.
Absolutely, and that's the entire basis of our group, that lawful, normal protest is absolutely everyone's right. And where we're coming from, we can't do a lot about yesterday, but clearly the issue of fracking in Rydale and I guess other areas of the country hasn't actually gone away. I guess at some point there will be test fracks by whether it's Third Energy or another company. And as a community, what we're looking to do is to try to have a voice with the various bodies that are meant to represent us, so whether it's the North Yorkshire County Council, Rydale Council, the police, the Environment Agency, to have a voice to say, look, this may well have died down now, but clearly it's not going to go away, and the protesters themselves have said that clearly they will come back. How
did the petition go down then, Bob? You presented it to Kevin Hollingreight, the Thirsk and Malton MP today.
Yeah, I think he understood where we were coming from, and we all respect he's got a very difficult balancing job to do. I think he can clearly see both sides of the argument, but the thing that I took away from it was that he's very supportive of normal, peaceful, lawful protest, but draws a line at the illegal protest, the intimidation, and I guess the crossing the line.
How can you stop that?
That really comes down to the million-dollar question of the agencies actually working together to say, OK, in the future, if there is further fracking activity, is another camp going to be allowed? The community is somewhat confused that, we have laws around health and safety and sanitation and planning that we all have to adhere to, but in the name of protest, it doesn't seem to be quite equal. So we're kind of wondering whether that's still going to be allowed, who's going to take the lead, who's going to coordinate it, and I guess importantly, what's actually being learnt by the various agencies over the past year and how they can mitigate any future impact on the community that actually does have a voice. May not be heard, but actually does have a voice.
That's Bob Batty from Rydale Against Antisocial Protesters. Well, Steve Pearce, though, from the Kirby Misperton Forward Protection Camp, certainly doesn't recognise the description Bob Batty gives of the anti-fracking lobby group there.
We're on the front line here and we speak with locals day in, day out. And that's not the opinion. They haven't been approached for, as part of this, petition. And I would question where those people are. I've just been chatting to two people in the village who said like they've not been approached as regarding this petition, and they've been very happy with the whole of the protest campaign and how little disruption it has actually caused. The purpose of the protest is to raise awareness. It's not to disrupt anybody but Third Third Energy and any other company trying to hydraulically fracture.
Do the ends justify the means at all costs here, then, Steve? Or would you look at if and when fracking or the possibility of fracking returns to North Yorkshire? Would you look at maybe different tactics?
I think the way things have been conducted have been exemplary. A minute amount of people have claimed these spurious allegations of violent and protesters, but that's simply not the case. The whole idea of it is peaceful, is to raise awareness, and with very specific ideas not to disrupt the local villages. So whenever it's been possible to facilitate villages getting to and from, protesters have bent over backwards. The police, on the other hand, have blamed protesters for road closures that simply weren't due to protests. And it's this anti-protest hype has been drummed up by a handful of people. What's
the latest on that then? We understand that things have been suspended at Kirby Misperton for now.
Yes, and Third Energy would have you believe that they've got the will and the finance to carry it on. They've totally emptied the fracking pad here of all hydraulic fracturing equipment. It's been a huge success. The money it's cost them over this campaign to get all the equipment on, to get it off, I think we had a police bill of over £700,000, which obviously the industry aren't going to help out with at all. That's got to be met by the taxpayer, and we say that was totally unjustified over-policing. So we don't see Third Energy taking the hydraulic fracturing any further. We've had INEOS, a larger company, that is likely to step in and buy the pedal licences off Third Energy, and they are more likely to progress hydraulic fracturing.
And you'd be back to Kirby Misperton?
Absolutely. We're out to warn people of a serious danger if this industry ever gets established here.
There we are. That's Steve Pearce from the protest group Rydale against... let me get that right. Kirby Misperton Ford Protection Camp. That's right. And before that, you heard Bob Batty from the Rydale against antisocial protesters. Well, I'm sure you've got your...